Welcome to the world of dark romance tales. Dare to follow us into the night, where desire and danger entwine. In the middle of the night, Liu Nhu Yen got another phone call and hurriedly threw on a coat before rushing outside. Tram isn't feeling well again. I need to check on him. In the original plot, I was supposed to cry and beg her not to go. Too bad, I only watched her hurried silhouette and let out a yawn. The moment she stepped out the door, I immediately called her hottest rival, Qi Wei, to come over. The next morning, I purposely waited until she was busy, devotedly taking care of her little brother, at the hospital before video calling her. When Liu Nhu Yen's face suddenly darkened, I lounged lazily on the sofa and said casually, "What's wrong? Aren't you busy taking care of your little brother?" The house was too empty, so I wanted someone to talk to. That's not abnormal, is it? Don't get me wrong, we're just pure friends. I sighed. I'm tired. Can you stop making a fuss? Before she could explode, I hung up. If she could have a little brother, why couldn't I have a little sister? As soon as the call ended, the room fell quiet. Qi Wei arched an eyebrow, tightened the belt of her bathrobe, hiding her alluring collarbone and faint curves. She chuckled softly, her tone slow and amused. I'm guessing Lu Tong will be back in 10 minutes. Tops. I leaned back and took a sip of red wine. 5 minutes. Right as I finished speaking, the front door slammed open like it had been kicked. As expected, Liu Nhu Yen had returned. Her eyes were bloodshot, her chest heaved rapidly, her gaze swept over Qi Wei before landing on me. Bac Dat, she choked out, you'd better give me an explanation. I casually swirled my wine glass, pretending I didn't see the fury burning in her eyes. Explain what? I just invited a friend over. What's wrong with that? She let out a cold laugh, stepped forward, and grabbed my wrist. What kind of friend walks around your house in a bathrobe in the middle of the night? Bac Dat, do you even know what shame is? If it had been the original Bac Dat, he would have been heartbroken and sobbing by now. Too bad, I'm not him. I calmly pulled my hand back and rubbed the red marks on my wrist. Liu Nhu Yen, stop being unreasonable, okay? We were only watching a movie. She had just taken a shower. You being this paranoid is exhausting. Every word I used was exactly what she used to dismiss and hurt the original host. Liu Nhu Yen's face went pale. She was speechless. Beside me, Qi Wei spoke up just in time, sighing as she shrugged helplessly. Lu Tong, please don't take it the wrong way. Bac Dat and I joke around like this all the time. He's never even seen me as a woman. But if you dislike me this much, I can leave. Soft, subtle, retreating yet advancing, perfectly executed. I immediately held onto her hand and glanced at Liu Nhu Yen with mild reproach. Why are you scolding her? Since when did you become this petty? Petty. Liu Nhu Yen trembled with anger. A woman shows up in our house in the middle of the night and you defend her? What about Luke Guntram? I smiled lightly. Isn't he a man? You ran off the moment you got his call at midnight. Why didn't you call that a man and woman alone in a room? I stepped forward, looked straight into her furious eyes, and said each word clearly. You can treat Guntram as your little brother. So why can't I treat Qi Wei as my little sister? Don't be two-faced. She opened her mouth but couldn't say a word. In the end, defeated by her own logic, she silently slammed the door and left. The living room quieted again. I exhaled lightly and turned to Qi Wei. Thanks. You had to watch a circus tonight. Her playful smile faded. She poured more wine, eyes growing complicated. Bac Dat, do you remember the debate competition back in college? You left your opponent completely speechless. I paused. She gave a self-mocking smile. Back then, I thought you were someone meant to stand under sunlight, confident and proud, not trapped here, losing your shine over a woman. She set her glass down and looked at me seriously. It's her fault for not valuing you. I didn't help you for entertainment. I helped because I truly believe you don't deserve this. Looking into her sincere eyes, I felt the leftover resentment of the original host loosen a little. She was right. I shouldn't be like this. And the pitiful man in the original plot didn't deserve such an ending either. I touched my chest lightly, resolve tightening. Don't rush. This is just the beginning. All the suffering the male lead once endured, those who betrayed him will taste it twice over. The next day, Liu Nhu Yen didn't come home. I enjoyed the peace and even slept better than usual. It wasn't until the afternoon that the villa door opened. Liu Nhu Yen walked in, supporting a thin, frail man, Luke Guntram, whom I had seen countless times in photos. He wore simple white clothes, his complexion so pale it was almost translucent. His slender frame looked even weaker in the loose outfit. Avoiding my gaze, Liu Nhu Yen set down his suitcase and said coldly. The doctor said Guntram's body is still very weak and needs rest. He'll be staying here from now on so I can take care of him. She paused. Just cook one extra portion for each meal. That shouldn't be hard. Luke Guntram gave me a faint, proud smile, then clung to her arm and spoke softly, all gentle obedience. Kai Yen wouldn't feel at ease leaving me alone, so she insisted on bringing me here. And Bac Dat won't mind, right? The way he said, Mr. Bac Dat, slow, soft, and laced with barely hidden provocation, was anything but innocent. I was just about to speak when a sudden, stabbing pain tightened violently in my chest, the fragmented soul of the original owner screaming in rage. It pushed at me, urging me to demand why Liu Nhu Yen had brought this man home. To order him out of the house that used to be his. The surge of emotion was so fierce it nearly shattered my rationality. I drew in a deep breath, pressed a hand against my chest to steady myself, forcing down the rising surge of resentment. Then I smiled, bright and flawless. Of course I don't mind. How could I possibly mind? Welcome, Guntram. My unexpected warmth made both Liu Nhu Yen and Luke Guntram freeze. Acting as if I didn't see their stunned and bewildered expressions, I kept smiling. Nhu Yen is right, your health isn't good, you need proper care, and honestly, having another person in the house makes things livelier. It'll help with the loneliness. Then, as if something had just occurred to me, I changed my tone. Oh, speaking of that, what a coincidence. I was just about to tell you the house will be even livelier soon. Liu Nhu Yen frowned. What do you mean? I lifted my chin toward the entrance. My sister, Qi Wei. My company and my residence are both under renovation, too dusty. Not great for health. I can't relax if she stays at a hotel. So I invited her to live here for a while. The moment I finished speaking, the doorbell rang. I pressed the remote to open the door, and Qi Wei stepped in with a sleek silver suitcase in tow. She wore a simple white tee and trousers, raising an eyebrow as she glanced around the living room. Oh, everyone's here? She shot me a quick wink, then turned to Liu Nhu Yen, and her face instantly darkened. Smiling sweetly, Qi Wei said, Ms. Liu, it seems I'll be troubling you for a while. I hope you don't mind? The room froze. Luke Guntram's smile stiffened. Liu Nhu Yen's expression soured as if she'd just swallowed a fly. I only curved my lips. Excellent, the fun was just beginning. On the very first day of 4 people sharing one roof, the war started early, in the kitchen. Luke Guntram had woken up before dawn. He wore a blue apron and carefully set a bowl of shark fin porridge in front of Liu Nhu Yen. Kai Yen, please try it, I stewed it all night. I wonder if it suits Mr. Bac Dat's taste too. Though I think he wakes up later than us. His voice was gentle, but the last sentence carried a hidden blade. Pretending not to hear it, I went straight to the counter, opened the fridge, and took out 4 eggs. Liu Nhu Yen frowned, her voice sharp with command. He already prepared breakfast, sit down and eat. I acted as though she hadn't spoken, lit the stove, and poured oil into the pan. The oil hissed, fragrant and rich, a sharp contrast to their pale, tasteless porridge. I cracked the eggs neatly, frying 4 perfect soft-centered eggs. 2 went on my plate. The other 2 on a separate one. A vein pulsed visibly on Liu Nhu Yen's temple as she struggled to keep her anger down. Bac Dat, must you do this? I pierced the yolk with my fork, letting the golden liquid spill out, took a slow bite, and looked up at her with an innocent smile. You've got a breakfast full of your little brother's love. And I've got my own protein-rich breakfast. Oh, right. I pointed to the other plate. This one's for my sister Qi Wei. She's helping me with heavy weight training later, big energy burn. Carrying both plates, I ignored their frozen expressions and walked into the villa's gym. Qi Wei was already there, finishing her warm-up. Her tight shirt and yoga pants framed her athletic curves. A thin sheen of sweat on her pale skin made her look both sexy and full of vitality. You're here? Great. Energy refill. I handed her the plate, she accepted it without hesitation. About an hour later, Liu Nhu Yen appeared at the gym door, her face thunderous. She'd probably come to confront me, but the scene before her stopped her cold. I was on my final set of squats, legs trembling. Qi Wei stood right behind me, her hands firmly on my hips to steady me. My thin workout shirt clung to my body with sweat, the warmth of her hands seeped through, leaving barely any space between us. I can't lift anymore, I panted. Don't quit. Qi Wei's voice was husky, lazy, seductive. Feel the support at your hips. That's it, I've got you, don't be afraid. Her body was practically pressed against my back. Our movements aligned, intimate enough to make anyone blush. From Liu Nhu Yen's angle, it must have looked like she was hugging me tightly. Bang! A sharp thud hit the doorframe. We both turned. Sweat still streaked down my face. My cheeks flushed. Qi Wei casually straightened up, wiping sweat from her chest, the corner of her lips lifting provocatively. Ms. Liu, you're awfully tense this early in the morning. Liu Nhu Yen's glare could have killed. Her eyes locked onto the faint handprints on my hips, her lips trembling, unable to form words. What could she say? Say that men and women shouldn't be that close? And what about her precious little brother, Gun Tram, still calmly eating breakfast in the dining room? Didn't she massage his cramped leg herself last night? Seeing her twisted mix of fury and helplessness, the leftover resentment in my chest eased slightly. I deliberately panted and turned to give Qi Wei a grateful smile. Thanks. With you here, I feel stronger already. Liu Nhu Yen's teeth ground so hard they creaked, her fists shaking. That night, I had just stepped out of the shower, hair still dripping, when my bedroom door was shoved open. Liu Nhu Yen stood there, reeking of alcohol, eyes bloodshot, breathing hard. She stepped closer, the scent of her perfume mixing with the sharp smell of alcohol as it enveloped me. Before I could react, my back was slammed against the wall. Bac Dat, her voice was hoarse and trembling, tinged with a kind of frantic desperation. What do you want from me? She didn't wait for my answer. Her lips crashed onto mine, hot, forceful, punishing. It wasn't affection, it was a beast trying to devour its prey. I frowned, turned my head away in disgust. Her movement froze, her chest rose and fell sharply, as though she was struggling to hold herself together. After a moment, she buried her face in my neck, her voice breaking. Do we really have to be like this? You weren't like this before. A short, cold laugh slipped out of me. When the original me loved her wholeheartedly, she was distant and dismissive. Now that I return that indifference in full, she suddenly becomes pitiful. I placed a hand on her chest, feeling her chaotic heartbeat through the thin fabric of her shirt. You're jealous, aren't you, Liu Nhu? Her body stiffened. She lifted her head to look at me under the dim light, eyes trembling, lips quivering, unable to form a word. A moment later, as if my words had struck straight through her heart, she stepped back and slammed the door on her way out without saying anything else. The next day, I was at the largest luxury fashion store downtown, choosing a silk scarf for Qi Wei as a thank you gift for playing the role of a loyal friend these past few days. At the checkout counter, the cashier returned my black card with a regretful look. I'm sorry, sir, but your card has been frozen. Before I could react, my phone buzzed. A message from Liu Nhu Yen. When you finally understand what it means to be a proper husband. When you know how a real man should behave, come find me. Until then, all cards under your name will remain unusable. She really thought this would control me. That I'd panic like the original Bac Dat, fall to my knees the moment my finances were cut off. I looked at the message, a mocking smile curling at my lips. Then I took out another phone and made a call. Lawyer Zhang? It's Bac Dat. I want to officially activate my mother's trust fund. 3 o'clock this afternoon, at the investment announcement. That afternoon, wearing a sharp black tailored suit, I walked onto the press conference stage beside Qi Wei. In that moment, I was no longer the man trampled under their feet, but her strategic partner in the biggest investment deal of the year. The camera flashes burst like white flames. I smiled brightly at the lenses, fully aware that Liu Nhu Yen would see every moment of this. After the event ended, as I stepped off the stage, Qi Wei handed me a glass of champagne and smiled. Congratulations, Mr. Qi, that counterattack was beautiful. I was about to clink glasses when my phone in my palm began vibrating nonstop. Over 20 missed calls, all from Liu Nhu Yen. I ignored them. Just as I was about to turn the phone off, the screen lit again. The caller ID showed the landline of the Liu household. I picked up. A second of silence. Then an aged, stern male voice came through. Bac Dat, have you caused enough trouble yet? Chairman Liu Nhu Yen's father. His tone heavy with authority. As if I was still the weak puppet in their hands. I laughed coldly. Chairman Liu, are you senile? Your daughter brought another man into our house and froze my accounts. Yet somehow, in your version, I'm the one causing trouble? Silence. He clearly hadn't expected me to push back this hard. You. I cut him off calmly. Watch over your foolish daughter. As for me, from today onward, I'll live exactly how I please. Before he could explode, I hung up. The following days, the villa was unusually quiet. Liu Nhu Yen rarely went out and even stayed away from the hospital to avoid seeing Liu Kangchen. She was trying to restore peace before the upcoming Starlight Charity Gala, the biggest business event of the year. A night where the Liu family absolutely couldn't afford humiliation. That evening, I dressed in the black suit I had prepared long ago, looking sharp and composed. Standing behind me, Liu Nhu Yen adjusted my tie. Her reflection in the mirror looked troubled. Bac Dat, after tonight, can we talk again? She wrapped her arms around me from behind, her voice almost pleading. Ask KY Wei and Kangchen to move out, then we can. A shrill ringtone cut her off. It was the hospital. Her face paled instantly. On the other end, a panicked nurse. Ms. Liu, Mr. Liu just fell down the stairs. His condition is critical, please come immediately. I watched her panic-stricken expression in the mirror. My heart cold as ice. Such clumsy manipulation. She hung up, guilt and anxiety flooding her face. Bac Dat, I'm sorry, I have to check on him. Go ahead, I said flatly. I never intended to go with her anyway. She froze, anger flickering in her eyes. Bac Dat, I'm warning you, stay home tonight, don't make me lose face. She grabbed the keys and rushed out. Half an hour later, at the Starlight Gala, the gilded doors opened once more, and all eyes turned toward the entrance. I walked the red carpet beside KY Wei, each step steady and unhurried. She wore a luxurious black couture gown, elegant and imposing. And I was simply the man at her side, calm, collected, and icy. Whispers rippled across the hall. Everyone knew Liu Nhu Yen was absent because she was tending to her little brother. And yet her supposedly rightful partner, arrived escorting another woman. Camera flashes exploded like fireworks. The MC approached us, raising the microphone. May I ask, the reporter said, with both President KY and Miss KY attending tonight's gala. Does this signal a deeper collaboration between the Spirit Foundation and KY Wei Corp? KY Wei smiled softly. She took my hand, lifted it, and brushed a light kiss over my knuckles before turning to the cameras. Spirit is KY Wei Tech's most valued partner. Then she looked at me, really looked at me, her eyes dark and steady. And KY Bac Dat, he is the most important person in my life. The entire hall rippled with shock. I knew perfectly well it was just a line. A dagger aimed straight at Liu Nhu Yen. But when her seemingly sincere gaze landed on me, my heart still stumbled for half a beat. I couldn't tell what was acting and what was real anymore. And I knew this scene was being live-streamed to countless screens, hospital VIP rooms, rivals' phones across the business world, and that oversized TV in the Liu family home. My phone buzzed. An anonymous MMS. The photo popped up. A pristine white hospital corridor, and in the middle of it, Liu Nhu Yen hammering her fists against a glass wall like a madwoman. Blood seeped through her knuckles, dripping onto the floor, bright streaks of red on pure white. From behind me, KY Wei reached over, took my phone, and shut off the screen. Her voice dropped low. Does it hurt to see her like that? I looked up at her, startled, then let out a quiet laugh. Hurt? I raised my champagne and drank it down. All I felt was how ridiculous her jealousy looked. I gave her everything once, and she never saw any of it. My voice was calm, but deep inside, the resentment of the original soul churned violently, rage, humiliation, and a bitterness so thick it felt like it might tear my chest open. KY Wei fell silent for a moment, then patted my shoulder lightly. Then let her pay for it. I glanced out the window. The city lights glittered, reflected sharply in my eyes. The defensive game was over. Now it was my turn to attack. The next morning, I didn't return to the villa. Instead, I went straight to meet the private detective lawyer Trong had recommended, one of the best in the business. I slid a folder across the table toward him. This is Luke Guntram. I want every piece of medical history he has. From childhood to now, the more detailed, the better, especially from the private hospital he frequents. I want to know what he's actually doing every time he supposedly goes critical. He worked fast. 3 days later, a thick stack of documents arrived in my mailbox. The more I read, the higher the corner of my mouth lifted, cold and razor sharp. The official reports claimed Luke Guntram had congenital cardiomyopathy, serious sounding, but vague, impossible to verify. But the original files the detective dug up revealed that every crucial test, EKG, Holter monitor, color Doppler, had signs of tampering, overwritten, altered, replaced. And the attending physician, Von Kwok Kwong, confirmed to be the distant cousin of Luke Guntram's mother. In other words, his maternal uncle. A long-running scam. A meticulously staged deception carried out by his own family. I kept flipping pages until I reached the last photo, an image captured by the hospital's surveillance. The night of the Starlight Gala. Less than an hour after being rushed into emergency care, Luke Guntram walked out the back door, perfectly healthy, got into an unfamiliar car, and only returned to the hospital at dawn. Meanwhile, that foolish Liu Nhu Yen had probably spent the entire night sitting outside the ICU. Worried sick over her precious little brother. I shut the laptop. A wave of fury surged up, hot, suffocating, a blend of my own anger and the original soul's wounded despair. Knowing the truth wasn't enough. I wanted Liu Nhu Yen herself to rip that fake, pathetic mask off her brother's face. So I called KY Wei. I needed her to use every connection she had to bring in the best cardiologist in all of Asia, not just this country. KY Wei, as always, delivered. 2 days later, she called back. Academician Tran, one of the top cardiovascular surgeons in Asia, had arrived in the city for a medical conference. He owed the KY family a favor, and agreed to arrange a private consultation. Good. That afternoon, I returned to the detestable villa. Dinner was surprisingly calm. Perhaps Liu Nhu Yen had been scolded by her father, she kept a cold, quiet face, not picking a single fight. Luke Guntram played the obedient brother, piling food into her bowl, gentle and attentive. Their display of deep sibling affection was nauseating. After dinner, the housemaid brought fruit. I pretended to remember something and pulled out a beautifully wrapped gift box, placing it in front of Luke Guntram. Guntram, this is a present I chose especially for you. Both he and Liu Nhu Yen froze. He opened the box. Inside lay the newest model of a home-use heart rate monitor. His face instantly drained of color. I kept my smile warm. My friends say this model is incredibly sensitive. It can sync all your data to the cloud and send it directly to your physician. That way, even if Miss Yen isn't by your side, she can know your condition right away. I turned to Liu Nhu Yen and smiled gently. See, I treat your little brother quite well, don't I? She frowned, but couldn't find a single flaw. All my words were concern, nothing else. Luke Guntram's hand trembled slightly as he held the device. He forced out a strained smile. Thank you, Bac Dat, but I'm used to the hospital's model. How could that be enough? I cut him off, feigning worry. This condition is most dangerous when it relapses suddenly. Oh, and I almost forgot. I brightened, as if remembering good news. I met a senior today who's close friends with Academician Tran, the top cardiovascular expert in Asia. I mentioned your situation, and he felt so sorry for you that he helped me schedule a private consultation. Academician Tran will examine you himself. No, I don't need it. His shout tore through the dining room, sharp, panicked, far too intense. The entire table went still. KY Bac Dat, what are you trying to pull now? Guntram's health is fragile, he can't handle you tormenting him like this. I narrowed my eyes, the last trace of a smile vanishing. My voice dropped to pure ice. Liu Nhu Yen, are you out of your mind? I found the best specialist in Asia for him, since when is that harming him? Or, I leaned in slightly. Or are you afraid a real doctor will uncover something you'd rather keep buried? The air froze. Luke Guntram trembled violently. His face drained of all color. His eyes reddened, tears spilling in a mix of fear and pitiful grievance. He clutched his chest and collapsed weakly into Liu Nhu Yen's arms, breathing in sharp gasps. Sister Yen, my heart, it hurts? I can't. Same old trick. But this time, I wasn't letting him perform. I pulled out my phone and dialed right in front of them. Hello, Emergency Center 120? This is the Vien Duong Villa. We have a suspected acute myocardial infarction. Critical condition. We've arranged a consultation with Academician Tran, the top cardiologist in Asia, so please transfer the patient directly to the city hospital where he is currently located. The moment I finished speaking, the dying Luke Guntram jolted upright like he'd been electrocuted. I'm not going to the hospital. I'm fine. His voice rang out, strong and forceful, stabbing through the living room like a blade. Liu Nhu Yen stared down at the man in her arms. The same man who seconds earlier was on the verge of death. For the first time, doubt flickered in her eyes. He realized he'd slipped. But being a seasoned actor, he paused only a beat before rolling his eyes back and collapsing again, pretending to faint. In the end, Liu Nhu Yen still called an ambulance and took him back to the hospital. I simply stood there, silent. The seed had been planted. And once doubt takes root in a woman like Liu Nhu Yen, it grows into fear, suspicion, and self-destruction. A few weeks later, the villa fell into a strange, suffocating quiet. Liu Nhu Yen became withdrawn. No more yelling, no more hospital visits, just locking herself in the study until late every night. I knew exactly what she was doing. She was digging, investigating, and I was preparing the final gift. 1 month later, under the name of the KY family, I sent out gold-foiled invitations to the entire upper class of the city. A celebration banquet for Luke Guntram's miraculous recovery, hosted in the Liu family garden. Upon receiving it, Luke Guntram was overjoyed. He thought it was an apology, an acknowledgement, a sign that he was finally being accepted as legitimate. He agreed immediately, even personally inviting his circle of friends to show off. That night, the Liu family garden glittered with lights. Guests mingled, glasses clinked, laughter filled the air. Luke Guntram, in a dark blue suit, basked in admiration. As the hostess, Liu Nhu Yen stepped up to give a short speech. Her face was pale, but composed, only her eyes were hollow, cold, like dead water. When the applause died down, I slowly walked onto the stage and took the microphone from her hand. I smiled, sweeping my gaze across the crowd. Thank you all for coming. As Yen's husband, I'm truly happy to see her younger brother fully recovered. I paused, voice steady and clear. No one is more relieved than I am. I nodded toward the audience. To celebrate Guntram, I've prepared a little surprise, a video documenting his brave battle against illness. I'd like to share it with everyone. Luke Guntram straightened proudly, anticipation shining in his eyes. I snapped my fingers. The giant LED screen lit up. But no inspirational montage appeared. Instead, a recording from a cafe. Luke Guntram sat leisurely with his attending physician, Vong Kwok Kwong, enjoying afternoon tea. His voice played clearly through the speakers, light, mocking, smug. Uncle, stop using the same excuse. That chest pawn story, Sister Yen's sick of hearing it. Next time, say I suddenly stopped breathing. Sounds scarier. Vong Kwok Kwong chuckled. You never change. Don't worry, Yen is soft-hearted. As long as I say you're in critical condition, she'll drop everything and run to you. Naturally. Luke Guntram shrugged, voice dripping with arrogance. She'll never escape me in this lifetime. The video cut off abruptly. Silence crashed over the garden. Every spotlight turned toward the man trembling beneath the stage. Luke Guntram's face went ghost white. He stumbled backward, barely staying upright. No, it's fake, it's edited, he's framing me. Sister Yen, you have to believe me. But this time, no one went to him. Liu Nhu Yen stood beside me, motionless. She didn't speak. She didn't look at him. She didn't move at all. Her face was bloodless. Her eyes were empty. as if every last piece of life had been drained out of her. The banquet collapsed into farce. Under the guests' contemptuous stares, Luke Guntram broke down completely. Shouting, cursing, babbling, until his parents dragged him away like a limp heap of mud. One by one, the guests left, and the once bright garden sank into cold, messy stillness. In the end, only I and Liu Nhu Yen remained. She turned to me, eyes red, voice hoarse. Why did you have to do this? Why use such a cruel method? I laughed, soft, but chillingly cold. Then you tell me, what should I have done? Do it the way I used to? Fall to my knees, beg you to trust me, only for you to slap me across the face? Or should I beg you to see the truth, just to have you call me sick and paranoid? Liu Nhu Yen froze, color draining from her face. She shut her eyes, breathing raggedly. When she opened them again, her voice trembled with something close to pleading. Bac Dat, I know I was wrong. I was blind. I was foolish. Let's forget everything and start over. Shall we? I swear I will. I looked at her as if she were a stranger. Liu Nhu Yen, I said, my voice barely above a whisper. You must be curious why I've changed so much, right? She stared at me, stunned, unable to understand. I stepped closer, meeting her eyes, and spoke each word like a verdict. It's simple, because I am not the man who loved you, who bent for you, who sacrificed everything for you. I paused, let a small smile surface, and delivered the coldest sentence of all. He's dead. Liu Nhu Yen's pupils shrank. She staggered back, lips trembling. What are you talking about? Am I lying? I raised an eyebrow, my tone slow, each word sharp as a blade. 3 months ago, when he begged you not to abandon that acquisition deal because of Luke Guntram's lies, you slapped him in front of everyone. He fell into utter despair and jumped from the hospital rooftop. He died. I watched her freeze, watched the color drain from her face. And what's standing in front of you now, I continued softly, is just a foreign soul inhabiting his body, here to let you taste betrayal, abandonment, and the descent into hell. Her face went from ghost white to ashen gray. Her lips moved soundlessly. And finally, behind those empty eyes, I saw it, comprehension. She now understood what she had truly lost. Not a marriage. Not a man who loved her. But a life. I pulled a folder from my bag and placed it gently before her. This is the divorce agreement. Sign it. You and he have long been separated by life and death. I slipped off the wedding ring from my finger. It hit the rim of the wine bucket with a crisp metallic clang before sinking to the bottom. Goodbye, Liu Nhu Yen. I turned away, voice calm, almost serene. I won't say farewell. I walked off without once looking back. Behind me, her broken sobs rose, raw and hollow, the sound of a soul being crushed. At the garden gate, a black Bentley waited. The door opened. K.Y. Wei stood there, smiling softly, reaching out her hand. I placed mine into her warm palm and sat inside. The car rolled forward, leaving behind the ruinous echo of weeping and our past. A year later, on the top floor of Titan Tech headquarters, the massive glass windows framed the entire splendid cityscape beneath us. K.Y. Wei approached from behind, carrying a cup of coffee. She wrapped her arms around me, resting her chin on my shoulder. What are you thinking about? I pointed at the finance magazine on the desk. On its cover was a photo of me in a black suit. Confidence in my smile, with a headline in bold. The new king of commerce, Bac Dat and his multi-billion empire. I chuckled softly. A year ago, I was still bothered by a frozen credit card. K.Y. Wei laughed, picked up her tablet, and handed it to me. Here, this might make you even happier. On the screen was a fresh breaking news headline. Former corporate titan Liu Nhu Yen spotted multiple times at the Neuro Recovery Center late at night, suspected mental breakdown. The attached photo showed a thin, disheveled woman with hollow eyes staring blankly at a street lamp. No trace remained of the proud queen of the business world she once was. The article continued. After a series of disastrous decisions and financial scandals, the Liu Corporation declared bankruptcy. The Liu family, disgraced by last year's scandal, was blacklisted by high society and eventually forced to sell everything and leave the city in silence. I skimmed it, then calmly switched off the screen. K.Y. Wei tilted her head. You're not curious why she ended up like that? I turned around, letting the morning sunlight fall across my face, and quietly shook my head. No, because I know what destroyed her wasn't bankruptcy or losing her status. My voice dropped. It was the truth of his death. For the rest of her life, the thought that she killed him will rip her apart, piece by piece. Unable to live, unable to die. That is the hell I chose for her. The cruelest. And the fairest. I paused. Deep within my chest, I felt it, the last remnants of the original soul dissolving like morning mist brushed aside by gentle sunlight. A peace I had never known washed over me. K.Y. Wei must have sensed it too. She hugged me tighter, voice soft and a little unsure. So, it's over now, isn't it? I closed my eyes, letting warmth and sunlight envelop me. Tilting my head, I brushed a light kiss against her lips. Then I smiled. No, K.Y. Wei. This isn't the end. I opened my eyes. The reflected light in my pupils burned like fire. The story ends here, but the night is far from over. Join us again, where new secrets and passions await.